like basically convergence of principles, essentially. Yeah? So the principles underlying the weapons work, that means the body work, the blending work, and the principles underlying the body work are the same. Yeah? So what I like to do is make a clear connection between the sort of work we've been doing in the first class and the body work we've been doing now, so that it's one system, not two systems in parallel. It's one system, the same principles operate. Right? Okay, so we'll look at Aikido henko. Now when we did this workout, we spent so much time on this hip work. It's the same thing you're going to find now. So from here, in this position here, you're in the hip work and this hip work. Yeah? So really feel that you're in a cut, like this, and you finish in the same position. Yeah? I try it. When you hold the sword, I was really making this point about the grip, and that the grip is in the back of the hand primarily, and lightly in the front, so it's like 80% towards the back. Okay, if I'm working in terms of grabbing my partner, okay, it means that I'm not grabbing like this, boom, on the thumb. Yeah? Okay, the focus is going to be towards the back of the grip. So again, what will that do? My body will have a sense of dropping. The moment you're grabbing like this, like you're in the upper body. It's the same thing we were talking about before. So it's the sense of this, and the body drops. Yeah, he doesn't move, and then he does that, and then also that means that as he rotates over my thumb will not suffer. Yeah? Okay, look. If I grab really hard here, like this, and he rotates over that thumb, the first thing he does is he crunches the joint. He does that hundreds and hundreds of times, and then everyone has these thumb problems. Yeah? Okay? But if I have the grip in the back of the hand, the front is very soft. This is soft. I don't suffer. Yeah? Okay, so the way you hold your partner and the way you hold the sword is the same grip. Yeah? I try again. Okay, so the extension work. The extension work we're always doing henko. So when you hold the sword, the great thing about weapons is it enlarges your sense of your body and your field, your energy field. So this sense of extension, okay, and this sense of extension is the same feeling. Okay? So if someone grabs you and you have a sense of like being tight, yeah? Or you have a sense of being disconnected. Okay, but he grabs and it's like extension. So straight away it's as if I'm holding the sword. Then with that sense I move here. Yeah? Okay, so this feeling, which is your whole body, not this, not this. Yeah? I try again. Also when you hold the sword, it really teaches you, if you're talking about balance and centered work, okay, when I hold the sword I wouldn't do this. Okay, my body's already to the front, my back is collapsing, this feels really unstable to me. To hold the sword with the whole body for me feels more like this. Not like that. Okay? Okay, so in this case, a lot of you, what you're doing is you're offering the hand too far away. You're offering the hand too far away, so I'm already too far away. So then it's like, then what happens is the arm has to do this by itself. Yeah? Okay, but if I'm looking to actually begin from a centered position, I'm going to be there. Straight away, I'm going to be there. Versus there. Like that. This is off-center. This is like holding a sword like this. Like that. Yeah? Include that. So when he grabs, okay, let him come in. Let him come in. Now he's included. Then I just move. You see? So I begin from a position of ease and being balanced. And I'm always going back to that place. I'm trained in that place. Yeah? I try again. When we do the cut, you want to ground the cut, right? But that really technically means that my elbows, my hips, and my lower body in the sword will be like underneath. Yeah? So there's a sense of being there. Yeah? Okay. When you do Taino henko, you want the same kind of feeling, this. But I don't want to be there. You see, all of a sudden it's going somewhere else, yeah? Okay, so if you're doing Taino henko like this, okay, this is not a sword cut. The sword cut's disappeared, and the grounding is gone from the elbows. You're kind of in the upper body. So Sensei would often in front of the class, and we just front and just do this. Boom! And you can really see that everything just went to the ground, yeah? This feeling, but not that feeling. Yeah? So try and find the sense of being there, which is the same place there. Yeah? I try again. Don't float the hand work at the end. That's easy part. The movement part is right. What happens with a lot of you for a long time is you do Taino henko and you begin in the arms and you go to the shoulders. And this is kind of like the way of breathing on the outside of the technique. So there, and the arm moves first, and you do the shoulder, and then this is happening. So the center is again really in the back. Try and notice this, and then just do this for a split second. You're here, the first thing that moves is this. Then you go. So this is the same thing we're doing with the cut. The first thing that moves is the center. First one loses the center, and then this follows that, yeah? So this is exactly the same. Why should it be different? There, just move. So down, then move. So this is a direct contradiction, yeah? Okay, high dragon. Okay, so the problem with doing this is that Aikido is really about being with your partner, not being against your partner. This is fundamental, yeah? Here's a look. If you go against your partner, you're going to enter the space there. If your feeling is stiff, you're there and you're like, okay, move. But instantly you feel blocked. Therefore, the arm does its own thing to get around that. But this is a kind of a, so that you need to have a sense that you're not going against your partner, but that you're blending with your partner. So there's no hardness in the shoulder. If at this point here my extension is stiffness, okay, then as I try to enter his space, I actually push against him. And then what I do is I do the arm separately and get around that. And you could spend decades doing this. Yeah? Okay, so this is really something that you will quite quickly. Extension does not mean stiffness. The shoulder is still mobile with full extension. And then as I move in, it's soft. It's soft. He grabs full power. Yeah? Okay? Still soft. Because I'm not pushing against him. But the moment you're stiff here and you try and move from the stop. And you do that to solve it. That's not a real solution. That's a shortcut. You understand the problem? Okay, it took me about 20 years to figure this out. Yeah? Okay, so there's also this kind of program. I put you on the most day this is something frontal visual with our hands. So we're essentially unbalanced. The center gets left out of it. And here we want to sort of get more balance. One thing that's happening is a lot of you, like, the idea that when you're going to use power in the arms, then you're going to go to the arms. So a lot of you, before you do anything, it's like, you're already loading up. You're already loading up. The head goes down, the shoulders go in. Okay, now go. But I've already loaded it up. Actually, what you need to do is just do nothing. Boom, underneath. Then go. Yeah? So, but again, a lot of you, like, out of habit, okay, ready. But I'm already loaded up above, you see? And this is just like, seems innocent, but actually, Sensei would tell us, yeah, in the classes, and we ignored him for decades, let them grab you, the first thing you do is nothing. And it didn't make any sense to us, because we saw lots of things happening. So like, okay, fine, so I'm going to do something. No, he said, do nothing. Go, do nothing. Then extend, then move. So in that gap when you do nothing, okay, you get a chance to break the program which is going to kick in while you sleep. Yeah? And you have a choice to do something else. Yeah? Which is work from there. Versus going to go there every time. Yeah? I try again. I don't like telling stories. If you have an hour class in the evening, 7 to 8, we spend 20 minutes of every single class doing henko, Morotedori, and kokyuho. So that was like a third of every single night repeated. And then the rest of the class was maybe 1 or 2 techniques. But I mean, it was like, I was like, okay, we would consider some point like trying to make please get over that part and get into a technique. It's really important, yeah? Okay, so it's kind of almost a blueprint for everything you're going to do later. So again, take your time there. Now, one more point. Okay, this circle you're making here, this circle, and this circle you're making with your hip. Try and connect them. Yeah? Okay, so when you do this happens. So this circle and this circle connect there. That's why I find this is happening. The pressure he feels in the hand when I do this is coming from the center work. Venter. You see? So you need to really connect your arm work to your center work. And this is a fantastic way of doing it. This circle and this circle meet. Yeah? And again, the weight is down. If I'm doing this and he lifts me up, I'm stuck. If I'm able to connect down and lift up, not so easy, not so easy. Yeah? So again, finish there, but this circle and this circle connect into one thing. Yeah, I try that. Okay, so if you look at like people like that, the amazing technique they have, the platform, the basis for their technique was their body work. Their body work, the way they were balanced, the way they were grounded, and that's the basis of their technique. Yeah? Okay, so what's happening here is this. Now, it was happening before, but now we're here. Comes in. All of a sudden, you're in this area here. A lot of you are falling into the front. Yeah. So you're essentially losing your balance. So this is front hand discipline. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab you, I'm going to grab you, I'm not going to grab you. Yeah? I want you to just focus on the movement. So I come in and I let him. I'm not going to grab that. Now what he's going to do without instructing the grab, is that he's going to basically focus on his movement. And that means he's not going to do this. And do that. He's not going to fall into this area. The moment you fall into that area, fall into a hole. So there's two things to focus on. The first is that when you move back, it's as if you're pushing space behind you. It's as if you're moving into a mattress. So your back is full. Your back is not empty. And the other thing is that you have a spiral. So you're not a block. Like that. You're in a spiral. Yeah? So you push the space behind you with your back, and you have a sense of spiral there. Yeah? So my movement is this kind of movement versus that kind of movement, and definitely not that kind of movement. Okay, so what I want you to improve your taisabaki, your body work. Yeah? Okay? So he comes in, but he does his grab, and I should be smack in the middle of this movement. Yeah? I try that. So, no throw to begin with. So again, grab, you should be grabbing with the same thing as grabbing a sword. Yeah? So first of all, do nothing, relax, and then extend. Okay? Then drop, find the center, rotate, no throw, just in this position. Yeah? Okay? Okay, then grab, extend from your whole body and drop your feeling. Okay, find the center line, rotate, and then just come into the position. Yeah? Alright, try that. No throw. You've got to blend with your movement. You cannot do this movement like when you're going against him like this. So if I try and do these kind of things, and he gives me any kind of resistance, all of a sudden it's not going to work. So you're not trying to go against him. You're just, the center point of his grip, you just sink around him. Okay. Yeah? Okay? So I'm strong as you can. There's no way that I can push through his grip and then struggle, and I'm going to struggle. So you just find the center point of his grip, the fulcrum point, and you just sink your center through it there. Like that. Yeah? Okay? But basically you communicate your center to what you're doing in this area. But not against, with. And then rotate. And there. Yeah? So it's all coming from the center. Yeah? Not from the arms and shoulders. I try again. Grab stronger. Okay. In Aikido, in terms of the configuration of the attack, of the engagement with someone against you, you need to understand one thing. Take a fist. At least it. Okay? You need to understand where you're going to run into him and where you're not. This is basically what you need to learn. Yeah? Aikido never works in this domain here. Yeah? Sensei kept telling us like, don't push, don't pull. This not. This I can do. This I can do. Now Morotedori is exactly that problem. You do not have permission there unless you're going to use strength and you're stronger. There the door is closed. Here the door is open. Yeah? Now you can throw. But don't force your partner. Yeah? That's where you do not do Aikido. Then you do something else. I try again. Go. Okay, look. Try and feel that you're lifting a sword. Yeah? You have the sword in your hand and he's holding it. Yeah? Okay, so that elbow just follows sword work. That elbow just follows sword work. Yeah? Now, that elbow does not halfway through the motion do this against him like that. I'm not doing this all of a sudden. That's for example, if I'm lifting the sword and then I start to do this, like that. Yeah? So a lot of you kind of like begin, you go there, and then the arm goes like taking over the movement. And it can work. Yeah? But what you're doing is you're using the upper body over the lower body, and against full power, you're using a part of your body instead of the whole of it. So try and feel that you're lifting the sword. So the elbows are going to basically follow sword. Follow sword. Yeah? So okay? So this elbow finds the center line. So. But at this point, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't push into the elbow. Yeah? I try again. Go. We're going to do another one. So here. So, same movement here. Come down. Yes, we're going to do first same thing, this position here. Okay, open up, slide. This is the homing sword. Then move through. Yeah, this is pretty basic. Again, You're picking up the sword. You're slicing with the sword. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, so where do you have submission in the technique? Where do you not? Okay, so we talked about like I can't work there, I can work here, okay, fine. Now this point here, if I just rotate back against him here, I don't have permission. Okay, so I need to make slight movement here. So I have permission. You see? That's how it works. So you need to create space so that you can open a door in the technique. Yeah? Okay, so I go through there and here, this opens up, and then you go. But don't go to this position and then just cut down. You're cutting right back into his strength. Yeah? So there, open up. Yeah, it's like that. Okay, make room for the tree. Make room for the tree. Okay, so the third person is on the side of the mat to create a little bit more space. And then you throw twice, and then you just rotate in. So you know how to throw. He comes in. So basically it comes to this position straight away. Then you continue to this position here. As it comes in. Now you do, and then rotate. Yeah. Okay, when we did the basic, when you go from basic, you know how to really change quite a lot. So the basic was this basic footwork here, then making that motion here, and you can do it. When you do your nagare, you can go straight here. And I'm in this position here. So I go straight back. And I continue cutting down and up. Yeah, so this is through. Yeah, I'll try again. Okay, go slower. And before you go to continuing power, you need to have your technique at least minimally in place. Okay, it's not if I'm like, that's this kind of handle. Okay, this handle is very, very disintegrated. Yeah? So a lot of you are also confused with maybe I have to go down and then we have to come up. This is not the same thing. So I'm leading him. So as soon as he's coming, I'm already taking him there. And the hands really come to this place here. This place, not that place. So this is not basically, you're in this position, and then you continue the spiral. What you want to do is draw him into a spiral. Yeah, so very slow. This here. Yeah, like that. Let's try again. Slow it down. Okay, remember we talked about this problem in all martial arts is that when the arms go up and then they engage the center and you go to the upper body. Yeah? So a lot of you are sort of coming like, and you're kind of working in this kind of upper body space. Yeah? But the thing is that actually you're going to be kind of like, you're going to be sinking in this one. So this thing. But if for example, like this is with essentially up and then begin and falls. I'm using my balance again, that's all there. I'm out of center, lost the ground, and I'm using the upper body. So go super slow, I'm touching the ground. Yeah, you should feel super stable, not unstable. Yeah? I try again, go. Go. So what I want to do, what I'm actually doing in the last few seminars a lot, is like really start basic and then go into the transitions into Kino Nagare. And then we build up. So we're slowly going to go in the classes more. And I'm going to basically explore the transitions into flowing work. But all the transitions and all the quality of body work in terms of flowing totally depends on the work you've done at the basic level. If that is unbalanced, stiff, blocked, shoulders stiff, Kino Nagare is just going to be a complete mess. Yeah? And then your partner has to completely float around you so that the techniques work, but nothing's working. Yeah? So we really need to understand that the basics are the foundation for everything that comes later. Yeah, and when things fail at the Kino Nagare level, usually it's because they're not in place at the Kimo. And you fix them by going back. That's really what Sensei's system. Yeah? So we'll look at that a little bit later.